Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to talk about something many of us struggle with detaching from someone. Whether it's a relationship, a friendship, or even a family member, letting go is never easy. But sometimes, it's necessary for your peace of mind, your happiness, and your personal growth. So, if you've been feeling stuck, emotionally drained, or simply unable to move on, stay tuned because I'm about to walk you through the steps to emotionally detach yourself from someone and start focusing on you. First things first, it's important to understand that detachment doesn't mean you don't care anymore. It's more about creating a healthy boundary that allows you to take care of yourself. We're going to dive into what it means to truly let go without feeling guilty or conflicted. So grab a drink, sit back, and let's talk about how you can free yourself from emotional chains. Now, when you're emotionally attached to someone, it can feel like they occupy every part of your life. You might constantly think about them, worry about what they're doing, or feel dependent on their approval. The truth is, this emotional attachment keeps you from growing into the person you want to become. It can make you lose your sense of self because, in a way, you're living for someone else. The first step in detaching from someone is acknowledging that you're too attached. This might sound simple, but it's actually one of the hardest parts because it means confronting your feelings. You might be asking yourself, am I really too attached? Well, here's how you can tell. If their mood affects your mood, or if your happiness depends on their validation, it's a sign you need to take a step back. Once you've recognized the attachment, the next step is to create some space. Emotional detachment doesn't happen overnight, but you can start by setting small boundaries. If you're used to constantly texting or calling them, try reducing your interactions little by little. Start by giving yourself more alone time to do things you enjoy without them. It's important to focus on yourself because the more you're wrapped up in someone else, the more you lose sight of what makes you happy. And speaking of happiness, let's talk about finding joy outside of that person. This is where self-discovery plays a huge role. Think about the things you used to love doing before you became so attached. Maybe it was a hobby, a sport, or simply spending time with other friends and family. Reconnect with those things. When you fill your life with activities and people who uplift you, the emotional hold someone has over you weakens. It's like rediscovering parts of yourself that were hidden under the attachment. But here's the tricky part. Detaching also means letting go of control. You might want to know what the other person is doing all the time or feel the need to be involved in every aspect of their life. But that's just your attachment speaking. Instead, start practicing the art of letting things be. Focus on what you can control, which is your own actions, thoughts, and emotions. The more you try to control someone else, the more tied to them you'll feel. But the less you try to hold on, the more free you'll become. Now, I want to address the emotional pain that comes with detaching. Let's be real, it's not easy. You might feel sadness, anger, or even guilt for wanting to distance yourself. That's totally normal. But remember, emotions are just temporary feelings. They'll pass. Allow yourself to feel them, but don't let them control your decisions. Sometimes we hold on to people out of guilt, thinking we owe them something. But the truth is, you owe yourself peace and happiness first. Prioritize that, and you'll find that detaching becomes a little easier. A big part of detachment is also accepting that you can't fix or change other people. Maybe you've been trying to help someone, hoping they'll change, but at the end of the day, people have to want to change for themselves. Holding on to the hope that they'll become who you want them to be only keeps you attached to an unrealistic idea. Accept them for who they are, and if who they are isn't good for you, it's okay to distance yourself. Now, let's talk about social media. Social media can make detachment even harder. You might still follow the person or check their updates regularly, which can make moving on almost impossible. One of the best things you can do is create some digital distance. You don't have to block or unfriend them, but muting their posts or taking a break from checking their profile can give you the space you need to focus on yourself. Out of sight, out of mind, right? Detachment also means focusing on building a better relationship with yourself. Instead of giving all your emotional energy to someone else, direct that energy toward your personal growth. What goals do you want to achieve? What dreams have you put on hold? Start working on them now. When you're busy improving yourself, you'll find less time to dwell on someone else. Self-care is also a huge part of detaching. Treat yourself kindly. This process isn't easy, and there will be moments when you feel tempted to go back to old habits, like checking up on them or reaching out. But don't be hard on yourself. It's a learning experience. The more you take care of your mental and emotional well-being, the stronger you'll become. As you go through this process, remember that detaching doesn't mean forgetting someone. You can still care about them, but from a distance. You can wish them well and still move on with your life. Detaching is about balance, finding a way to protect your peace while still acknowledging the role that person played in your life. It's about loving yourself enough to let go when something or someone isn't serving your growth anymore. So there you have it. Detaching from someone isn't about cutting them off or pretending they never existed. It's about finding peace within yourself and allowing yourself the freedom to grow. It's a journey, and it takes time, but trust me, it's worth it. You deserve to feel free, happy, and in control of your own life. And one last thing to keep in mind, detachment doesn't mean that you're closing yourself off to future relationships or connections. It's actually the opposite. By letting go of the unhealthy attachment, you make room for better, healthier connections in the future. You open yourself up to love, happiness, and friendships that are based on mutual respect and positivity. Detachment is a way to make space for what's truly meant for you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it helpful, make sure to like and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this. Take care of yourself. Your happiness matters. See you next time.